the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.
Hey everyone, this is China Chicken, and I want to do a box score breakdown of the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional playoff game over the past weekend. The Bills ended up winning 27-25. I'm a huge Bills fan here, super excited for the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs again. Hopefully we don't end up going 0 for 4 against the Chiefs in the playoffs. That'd be horrible. So we better win that game. But anyways, let's get into this. So Baltimore passing, Lamar Jackson, he went 18 for 25, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did take 2 sacks, and his quarterback rating was 114.4. Pretty efficient game for him, but again, you do see that interception, and he did fumble once, I think. They'll show that down below. But anyways, pretty good game for Lamar. Could have been better, though. For Buffalo, Josh Allen went 16 for 22, 127 yards. That's kind of crazy. Not very many yards. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He did take 1 sack, and his rating was 86.7. So on here, on the box score, it looks like Josh Allen had a worse game than Lamar. If you just look at these two quarterbacks and guess who would win, you would probably guess the Ravens just by the numbers, but didn't end up that way. Josh didn't have any turnovers at all. So you look over at Baltimore's rushing. You had Derrick Henry had 16 carries for 84 yards, 1 touchdown. That's not a great game for him. He was his over-under on the game, I think, was like 95 or something like that. He only had 84. So, and most of that was on one drive. He had, I think, 50 yards on one drive in like 4 rushes. So Bills did a really good job of containing Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Actually, so Justice Hill, they let him run. He had 6 for 50. Lamar had 6 for 39. Again, not that great. Could have been better. Mark Andrews had 2 rushes. Kind of interesting. But Buffalo rushing, James Cook, 17 for 67. Pretty efficient there. Can't really tell by the yards per carry. He had 3.9 yards per carry, but they were all very necessary runs, and he did a good job of taking hits and moving on and pounding through. So Ty Johnson also had 5 carries for 31. Ray Davis, 4 for 29. And Josh Allen, 10 for 20. But a lot of them were QB sneaks or tush pushes on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. And Josh Allen had 2 touchdowns. Ray Davis had 1. So there's all of your touchdowns there. It was in the run game. So you scroll down a little farther. You got Baltimore receiving. Isaiah Likely led the way with 4 catches for 73 yards on 5 targets. So good game for him and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman, also good game, 4 for 66 and a touchdown on 5 targets. Mark Andrews looks like he did good. He had 5 for 61 on 7 targets, but he did have that crucial drop, the 2-point conversion. And then he also fumbled once, which we'll show down below. Anthony Miller, Justice Hill didn't do too much. So Nelson Aguilar didn't do anything. Derrick Henry didn't do anything in the passing game. So kind of interesting there. Buffalo's receiving, Khalil Shakir, 6 catches for 67 yards on 7 targets. He's been doing that all year. Very efficient, catches everything pretty much. James Cook only, after Shakir, it's like, what? James Cook, 3 for 15. Matt Collins, 1 for 12. Dalton Kincaid, 1 for 11. It's been like this all year. It's crazy that Shakir will have, 50, maybe 75 yards, and everyone else has 1 or 2 catches for 20 at the most. It's kind of crazy, but here we are. We're in the AFC Championship game, so it is what it is. Baltimore's fumbles. So they fumbled 3 times. Mark Andrews fumbled once, and they lost it. Lamar Jackson fumbled once, and they lost it. Tylan Wallace fumbled once, but they were able to recover it. So there you go. And Lamar's fumble, they were in the very close to the red zone, maybe in the red zone. And Von Miller recovered it, returned it for like 60 yards. Terrell Bernard also got a fumble recovery from Mark Andrews. He punched it out. Look at Baltimore's defense. Kyle Hamilton led the way with 9 tackles. Let's see. Roquan Smith also had 8 tackles. Malik Harrison 7 tackles. Madi Badoo had 7 tackles. He also had half a sack. A bunch of QB hits actually. So their defense did pretty good there. Kyle Van Noy, I was worried about him. He had half a sack. He had 2 QB hits as well. A couple tackles for loss for Tavius Robinson. So kind of interesting there. Good game for Baltimore defense to hold the Bills to 27 points, which they've been scoring 30 every game. So they did a good job. Buffalo's defense. Damar Hamlin led the way with 8 tackles. Rasul Douglas had 6. AJ Epineza also had 6. Rousseau 5. So a lot of guys on the D line there, especially the edge rushers. Epineza and Rousseau had some tackles in the game. That was key for stopping Derrick Henry. Damar Hamlin had a sack. He also had 2 tackles for loss, so great game for him, and a QB hit. Greg Rousseau had a sack and a tackle for loss. AJ Epineza had a couple tackles for loss. Dorian Williams at Oliver. Matt Milano had 3 QB hits. That's a great game for him. Yeah, he was all over the place. Doesn't show up too much in the stat sheet, but 3 QB hits is huge. Von Miller only 1 tackle, but he had a huge fumble recovery there. Taylor Rapp had an interception, as you can see. So that was pretty awesome. Kick returns we don't really care about. Keaton Mitchell had a lot of returns, 5 for 134. And yeah, I noticed that actually. Bass, pretty much every kickoff, he kicked it off to the 1-yard line, forced them to take it out. I was surprised that they did that. Usually they just kick it right deep there, but yeah, they kicked it to the 1-yard line every time, and he took it out, and so that's why they had 5 returns. You don't see a lot of that anymore. Baltimore's kicking. Justin Tucker went 2 for 2, long of 47, and hit his extra point. Tyler Bass came up clutch. He went 2 for 2, and his long was 51, and he had 3 for 3 extra points. So great game for Tyler Bass. Needed him really bad. And then Sam Martin punted 3 times. So not the best. And Baltimore didn't punt at all, but they turned it over 3 times, so that ended up like evening out in a way, with Bills punting 3 times and Baltimore having 3 turnovers. So very fun game. Very excited that the Buffalo Bills won 27-25. And again, I can't wait for the AFC Championship game. I'll be doing a box score breakdown for that next week. And yeah, so leave a like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks.
Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.